Morning. I just asked, I don't have to introduce anybody, so I'm good. I'm so happy to see you all. My name is Chelsey Saunders, and I am the president of the Student Senate this year. And I have to admit, I'm here to kind of share with you a little bit about the student experience, but I can tell you when I was in your seat, this was the last place I expected to be. I was nervous, I was excited, I had a lot of great visions, but I have to tell you the story of my first class. My first class was in Grace Dodge. It was a research seminar. I was sitting with 12 other people. It was a Saturday class. They have those here at Teachers College. And I was sitting in the room looking around, and we were just doing the basics of, what's your name, where are you from, what do you hope to get out of this class? And as each person around the room spoke, I got more and more nervous, more and more self-aware, more and more feeling like, oh my goodness, I don't belong here. And the reason for that was the people around me were amazing. They were leaders in their field, they were scholars, they were leading multi-million-dollar projects, they were leading districts, and I came from Cary, North Carolina, and I was a teacher, and I was, all eyes were on me, it was my turn, and I started crying. Not just like the sweet tear, down your face, brimming, like bawling, sobbing, like red, splotchy, crying. And finally, I was able to get a couple words out, and it was, of course, I'm so sorry, like I don't know where this is coming from. I knew exactly where it was coming from. I did. I knew exactly where it was coming from. It was coming from this place of, of fear, of oh my gosh, that imposter syndrome, like, they got the wrong Chelsey. Like, I wasn't the one who was supposed to be here. And then on top of that was my own fear of, like, did I make a mistake? Was I really ready for this? It was a Saturday, school in North Carolina had just started, and I was thinking of my students. I was thinking of how comfortable and confident I felt when I saw them in front of me. I was thinking about teaching the book Things Fall Apart that I love, where we really share and work together to understand culture, to understand where we're from, to understand the stories of integration and what does that look like. And here I was facing my own change and just feeling completely unprepared. I don't know how exactly I got through the rest of that class. To be honest, it's a 7.5 hour later class. It's a whole full day class. But what I do remember is kind of the nodding of heads, like, oh, it's okay. And I did have a colleague who kind of talked me out in the hallway. I think he kept me from running away. I think that was what my plan was. And he kind of said, Chelsey, you are meant to be here. You really are meant to be here. You have experiences. Your voice is meaningful in this class. And so I think that gave me just enough courage to kind of turn on some anti-emotional blinders and just kind of sit there and smile and pretend to write things down the rest of the class, because I really don't remember what else happened. But I do know when I got home, of course, you call your mom, you call your dad, you call your best friend, and the tears start again. And they're like, Chelsey, it's going to be okay. It's going to get better from here. We promise. But there's one other thing I didn't tell you. This class that I was in was with my advisor, was with my program director, was with the person who had asked me to come. So not only was I embarrassed, mortified, in front of all these strangers who I thought were so incredible, I was sure I was going to get kicked out of the program. I was sure she was like, oh my God, I made this mistake. Who is this person who's emotionally unstable? I'm not sure this is who we wanted to be here. And the complete opposite happened. I think I spent 2 hours writing her an email saying, I'm so sorry. I understand if you don't want me. The words weren't really coming, of course, but I was just, sorry is kind of how it turned out. And before I even had a chance to press send, I got an email from her thanking me. I'm gonna cry now. She was thanking me for my courage and thanking me for my willingness to open up and to be vulnerable and to be who I really was in that space. And she kind of captured some of what I said. Obviously, I blocked it all out. But she said, we appreciate that you were honest with how you felt, with the fears that you had, with these vulnerabilities that you're carrying. You don't know what you have already done for our class just in that moment. And I was kind of like, what? Is this for real? And she offered to even call me and talk to me on the phone if I wanted. And to share and explore more kind of what I was feeling and this stress and this anxiety and this, anticipation of the worst that was, I had kind of going on in my mind. And I'll tell you something kind of cool, and this is the magic of Teachers College, is when you do decide to fully show up, rough edges, dark matter, dark past, whatever it is that you have kind of also going on, Teachers College will transform you if you really open up. And as Dr. and President Furman said, be open, explore. And as Provost James said, integrity is more than just being honest academically. It's being honest, bless you, with, it's being honest with who you are, right? Being fully integrated into yourself and therefore into the community. And by the end of the semester, these amazing people who, were 10, 20 years ahead in their careers, who were flying from California, who were flying or who were driving up from DC, who were literally, changing lives in education. By the end of that semester, they had all at one point or another bared their souls. Almost every single one of them had also cried. And it became this really sacred space, not only of learning, not only of stretching ourselves as scholars, but as a place where we could really explore our humanity and how hard and the struggle that is real for graduate students. And it's not just you. Like, you are about to embark upon an amazing journey where you will change and you will see things and you'll get to know people and you'll build networks and relationships that only Teachers College Columbia could ever provide you with. And it will blow your mind. But it's not just on the paper, and it's not just in the books, and it's not just doing your homework and writing your papers. It's in these moments and in these small communities that you build when you fully show up and are fully who you are. And these people that I got to know, and these 12 people, we had one class once a month, are some of the greatest friends I have now. Some of them graduated and got their doctorates, and we all celebrated them. And I think it gave me license. That first class, that first day, it gave me license to try a little harder, to show up a little more. It didn't get magically better, of course, the next day. I'm also, struggling with financial aid. I'm struggling with being in New York because it's a whole new place where you have to walk 5 blocks away to do your laundry, and that blew my mind also. So there's a lot of things that you're going to be like, this is really hard, and it's okay that it's really hard. But when you look across the room and you see that person who looks like they have it all together, and they're smiling, and their hair's actually brushed that morning, and they actually look like they tried, they might not have it all together. DG talks about the danger of a single story. We think about that in terms of culture and making assumptions about people based on what they look like or where they say they're from. We also make those assumptions here in graduate school, though, based on someone who looks like they have it all together. So I challenge you in your time here not only to fully show up, and if that includes crying, come see me. I'll help you out. But it should also include laughter, and it should also include, just telling people who you really are, what you're really thinking. When they say, how are you doing, please take the time to actually answer. And when you ask, please actually want to know. So that's kind of a little bit of a story that I wanted to share with you. It is going to get better. Like I said, I didn't expect to be here today, but I pushed myself to even join the Student Senate. I pushed myself to kind of go to the socials. I'm going to plug one for this Thursday. We have a comedy night. You might laugh so hard that you cry, but that's in Millbank Chapel, so I invite you to do that. That's a Student Senate-sponsored event. And we also have another one coming up called the One Listen. And I'm really excited to talk to you all about that because it's a podcast, and if you go to onelistenTC.com, it's a podcast that we want to give you as a shared common experience. Like I said, we all come from different places. We all have other stories kind of hidden within our hearts. But this is a great opportunity for you to have a common experience with everybody at Teachers College to talk about. So if you want to know more, if you look at the TC Public Space newspaper, it talks a little bit more about the One Listen. There are flyers coming out about the comedy night. And then, of course, I invite you to join Senate. And if not Student Senate, there's a student organization out there for you where, maybe you won't have this wonderful 12-person research class that will bring you to tears, but you might have other opportunities to get to know people and really share who you are fully. Teachers College, we cannot be fully us unless you come fully you. Thank you.